What's up, everyone? This is Alpha from the World Times, and today we're going to be reviewing the TV show Spartacus. So, Spartacus is an American New Zealand TV show about Spartacus. So, who is Spartacus? Spartacus is the leader of or was the leader of a major slave uprising against the Roman Empire. I mean, the Roman Republic. So, the thing is, this is based on a true story. Educate, look it up on your own. It's kind of like from the movie I Am Spartacus, and it's really cool, by the way. So, the TV show has 4 seasons, and 3 of those are like main story while one of those is a prequel. I'll tell you why they made a prequel later. So, in the first season, the show starts out with Spartacus, and you see him being in his village. He's from Thrace. It's kind of like in modern day Bulgaria or something like that. So, basically, the Romans come to his village and they need soldiers because they're conquering their area. So they agree. So they make a treaty with Spartacus, and in exchange, the Thracians, that Spartacus tribe, will help the Romans against the Geta. It's another they're rivals of the Thracians. So the Roman commander there called Gaius Claudius Galba. He's based on a real character. The guy is a total douchebag, and you'll see that throughout the first season when you watch the TV show. Although he's not really annoying, he becomes the main protagonist. The main bad guy later on. So eventually, the Romans. So Spartacus accepts the Roman offer, and he becomes an ally of the Romans. But then the Romans betray him, and he fights them, and they sell him into slavery. Um, Spartacus, as I said, Spartacus was captured and sold into slavery. So he was taken to a city called Capua. It's on the Italian peninsula. And it's pretty close to the capital of Rome. Now in Capua, the Romans had a favorite pastime, kind of like we do, like how Americans like football, how Brits like soccer or whatever, and how like Pakistanis like cricket and so on. So basically, gladiatorial games are where you like have one or multiple people fight each other to the death, or they can fight even animals, wild animals. Now, the people that you can have who are fighting each other can be convicts or petty thugs to train gladiators, and that's where gladiators come from. They're basically professionals at what they do. They train a lot, and they train to kill other gladiators or as the crowd pleases, because sometimes the crowd may not want to kill that person because or for some reason or whatever. So uh, gladiator games were very popular back then. As I said, they were as popular as cricket or soccer today is, but people fight to the death. In Capua, one Quintus Genius, blah blah blah. I have too many names. Batiatus finds him when he was with Glabar, the guy who basically puts Spartacus in slavery. And I don't know what it is, but Batiatus sees something that he likes about Spartacus. So Batiatus convinces the crowd not to kill Spartacus, and he buys him from Glabar. Now, uh, Batiatus takes Spartacus to his Lanista, which is basically a training school for gladiators. It's a professional place. Now, in the Lanista, Spartacus is treated like total shit because he's not a member of the Brotherhood. You see, gladiators in that time were members of something called the Brotherhood. Basically, when you're there, you're a professional gladiator. It's kind of like how uh, lawyers have the bar association, or how uh, doctors are called professors or whatever. You get the idea. Now, before getting that, Spartacus was treated like shit, as I said, and he makes friends with a Roman guy. I don't remember the guy's name, but moving on. So eventually, when he gets the mark of the Brotherhood, uh, moving on. Spartacus has to kill his best friend, that Roman guy. Now, you're probably wondering, what's a Roman doing there? Well, you see, people can become slaves in the Roman Republic. It was a pretty bad place. It's kind of like today. If you're rich, you're pretty well. If you're poor, you have to, well, hustle around to do what you can to make it big. Now, the thing is, like, that Roman guy, he's in there because he has a lot of debt and he needs a way to pay that debt. So basically, the thing that you understand about Batiatus is that he's a pretty well, he's a bastard. He's a total sob, a-hole, all that stuff. Now, Batiatus all the time runs games, schemes to make himself rich and better. And he's also the one who uses the most profanity in the TV show. Yeah, Spartacus is really bloody. It's really nasty. It's not exactly kind of like for the fainted heart, as it were. End quote. Now, so basically, it's one of the guys who was one of these parties that Batiatus hosts gets Spartacus to kill his best friend. That's just how things are. Now, eventually, like a few more episodes later, Spartacus's wife has died when Batiatus retrieves her, or I want to reveal it for you guys. So now a few more episodes passed, and Spartacus and the rebel and the gladiators rise up. I won't really tell you what happens, but it's pretty cool and it's really interesting. Check it out. And that's the first season of Spartacus. Now we're gonna go on to the prequel. So, what's the prequel about? I'll tell you now. So, in the prequel, it's like we get to know how the House of Batiatus rise up, like what happens. We get to see Batiatus before he's Batiatus. We also get to see the origin of several other characters, like his wife and etc. We also know how Batiatus got the place in the first. Also, so we also get one really cool character who's going to become very important in the later seasons, and he's called, I won't reveal it for you unfortunately, but it's really awesome. We'll also see a lot of other stuff, and we'll learn about his Batiatus's rivalry with others. We won't really see Spartacus, the character that is in that season, because Andy Whitfield, the actor, got cancer and he died unfortunately. Rest in peace, Andy. Alright. So, but even without Andy, it's pretty cool. It has a lot of really good actors and it really does well to the show. Now, the thing that you have to understand about every Spartacus season is that the first season wasn't really, well, it was 50-50 here and there. Some episodes were really good, others were, well, they were a bit iffy, you could say. But it constantly got better all the time. So, and the season finales are always strong. They always blow your mind. If you watch a season finale and you don't like it, well, we don't really know. Moving on. So, the second season, that is after, not the prequel, which is called Vengeance. No, called, I'll tell. So, the second season of Spartacus is called Vengeance, and it really shows how the rebels became the rebels, and it's a really good origin story. It's like the first season really set up everything. The prequel gave you like what happens and how everything formed, and the second season is where the rebellion picks up. It's really great. There's a new actor who replaces Spartacus. Because, like I said earlier, the guy who replaced him died now. In the first half of the season, the actor's a bit iffy, a bit not too good, but then he really picks up. So Spartacus is all about improvements. It's like improving where you are and getting there. That's like how it is. Now, the second season has a lot of cool stuff, so check it out later. Okay, moving on to the third and final season, which is called Spartacus War of the Dead. And in this one, they really pick up everything. It's like it's all to the top, and unfortunately this is also the final season, so they really wanted to end it with a big bang, and they did. Now, throughout the season, it's all consistent, it's all great, all the actors are in their A game, and the main bad guy is Marcus Crassus. He's the richest guy in Rome, but unlike the other bad guys who are the Romans themselves, he's not, well, he's a bad guy, but he's power hungry. He's kind of like any other Roman, but he totally respects Spartacus, and that's what I like. Now, I'm not going to tell you what happens because I want you guys to find out for yourselves, but the final battle is awesome-tacular. You know what's going to happen if you've read history. If you haven't, well, then that's your loss, but it's awesome-tacular is all I can say. Now, and that is Spartacus. So, overall, Spartacus is a really good show, and this what I'm going to say here is my thought. It's total bias, as it were. Spartacus is a really good show. It has great characters, great emotion, and you come for the show at start, because you're interested into the blood and the sex, but then you stay for the characters, and that's what happens. I love it, and I will continue loving it. And in fact, I'm already watching it again because it's an awesome show. Why shouldn't I? All right, thank you for tuning in, and next week we'll be discussing another TV show. Thanks and goodbye.